Hello, I'm Greg Rinckey. I'm one of the founding partners of Tully Rinckey, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare for a divorce. So there's a few things you should do when you're contemplating a divorce. And the first thing you really need to start thinking about is gathering financial documents and starting to make a list of your assets and your debts, and gathering credit card statements and mortgage statements and making copies of them and probably keeping a digital file as well, because sometimes in divorces they can become lost or they go missing. So it's very important that you start gathering them and you understand what your financial picture looks like. You also want to look at pensions too and start gathering that information as well, because that's going to tell you the assets in the future and how much you may have available in the future. The other thing you want to start thinking about is custody. If you have kids, joint custody, sole custody, and visitation, you want to start thinking about that as well. As you're having discussions or communications with a spouse, you want to keep that respectful, because one side can start to record the other side, and that can be used against one of the parties. Any email exchanges or text exchanges should also be very respectful as well. You want to avoid taking any large financial steps without consulting an attorney, meaning moving money, spending money, or depositing large funds, because that's clearly going to be questioned in a divorce. So you want to protect yourself by not making any large purchases or incurring large debt or moving any funds from any bank accounts. It's also important too that you start updating passwords and maybe not using the same password on every account, because that can be compromised. So it's a good idea to start changing passwords. And you also want to start building a support team, which could be your family, can be your friends, where you start talking to them and start gathering some advice from them. And they're going to be people that you can lean on, because going through a divorce can be very emotional and it can be very stressful. And it's important to have a support team behind you. And then lastly, you should consult with an attorney before you file for divorce. And that should happen long before you file for divorce, where you just find out your rights and your responsibilities by talking to an attorney. So you should do that early on, even if you have no real thoughts of actually filing for the divorce right then and there. It might not be for months or years, but at least then you can start to understand your legal rights and your legal obligations. So you should consult with an attorney and start to find an attorney that you feel comfortable with.